No, Emil, I'm pretty sure, goes off of Route B. Head pops off and gets sent into the desert area. Only thing that survived the explosion from him killing Popola. Because we know, because of Automata, which is a whole section I dodged in Automata because I didn't really want to do it in case it was spoiled. Because it was spoilers for Replicant. He never sees Emil again. Or Emil never sees either Nier or Kaine again. Holy shit, yeah, this is the founding of Yorho, chat. They're all based off of Kaine.
If you wanted me to follow any of this, you're gonna be real fucking disappointed.
Mine is! Ice Cube Trey, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. The Kaine droids are very
These
different
other
from Kaine.
maids are
They're models
brutal as
after.
hell.
Yeah.
I ought to be insulted.
It matters not how many copies you destroy.
They will simply disperse and immediately reconstruct themselves.
There is still much fun to be had.
We have finally come to an end.
God damn, you're annoying. I want to tear these freaks apart, eat the pieces, and shit them
Well, they
into
were
a
just talking about
trash
Matzo
can.
particles, which rings a bell, but nothing in particular. I'm guessing it's nanochips. Or nanotech.
Hell.
Which is how the androids healed in Automata.
Damn it.
That's because Yorho is fake.
You little fuckers.
Yorho was established to give androids hope. So they would continue to fight the machines. That's the whole purpose of Yorho.
Kaine! Are you okay?
Emil?
You betcha! Anywho... It's good to see you safe.
Yeah.
I sense tremendous power in that magic circle. I think it's acting as an energy source. If we can destroy it, all the other Kaines should disappear too.
Got it.
I'll take care of the magic circle.
Yeah, why does he have 4?
Kaine butt. I mean, the other Kaine's butts. Not your Kaine butt. You, the real Kaine.
Yeah, I get it, Emil. Just focus.
Number 7. A magical weapon forged by
But Emil said all of his friends were gone in Automata.
Who is that? What are those voices?
Just a couple of little fucks.
No, he still had his head. Yeah. His head was the only thing that survived the ending of this game.
Gosh, it feels like it's
Yeah.
been forever since we fought together.
This seems familiar. I think there was someone else who used to fight with us. My memories of it.
unusual phenomenal fluctuation observed.
Secondary signature detected in Replicant Kaine.
Fascinating.
Terribly fascinating.
Oh shit, I leveled up. Okay.
Kaine!
Also, why am I not able to use magic? Am I no longer a shade?
Is that a doorway?
Chat, these cubes.
Beyond here lies that which was lost.
A final hope for you to reclaim.
This is the tower-like structure in Automata. This is the tower.
Whoa! What is this place? At least there don't seem to be any bad guys around.
Emil, I didn't get a chance to ask yet with all the fighting and shit, but what happened to you back then? And where have you been? And why the hell do you have 4 arms?
Kaine, look, it's gonna take way too long to get into all that.
No!
Fine. I was worried, you know?
Aw, Kaine. But look at us now. Team Camille, back together again.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wasn't that also the name of the kid shade?
Kaine, I feel like I've forgotten something really important.
Tell me about it.
You too?
Yeah, I can't really describe it, but it's like my mind is filled with this weird fog.
I think I made a promise to somebody? Like that we would go eat something delicious?
Well then, we'll just have to get those memories back.
Yeah!
They saved her and she's back in the village. It's another one of the chalices. This is based off of the Shadow Lord's castle so far, chat. That's the garden, the fountain, the birds.
I feel an enormous magical power ahead.
Just don't do anything rash. Got it?
Got it. Same goes for you, Kaine. I don't want to be alone anymore.
Yeah.
This is a world based off of our world. So, pre-White Coronation Syndrome. Once again, Shadow Lord's castle, though. It's even got the herb boxes.
Is this the Shadow Lord's castle?
Yo, Mini Fresh, thanks for joining the stream and that follow,
I'm
dude.
sensing
Welcome,
some
welcome. Hope you're
powerful
doing well.
magic up ahead.
Sorry, I'm so focused right now. Hope you're doing well, though, Manny.
This is a very special place.
To you and to the world.
Are we in Game of Thrones, chat? Hack?
That is the core frame of this forest, within which a great variety of information is stored.
Inside it exists all that this world is, including the memories you have lost.
Though, rather than memories, it might be best to say
You're
don't get to decide who lives and who dies.
That voice. It's the one from my dreams.
I've heard that voice before.
These are your memories.
A record he repeatedly revoked.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to make sure they got through all the dialogue. I'm worried about skipping stuff.
You made it this far because you were with us, Kaine.
What is this?
Do you suffer?
I am pained.
Shut the fuck up!
That is fucking shit horse! Just die already!
It is gonna be a hack!
Where am I? Emil.
These are your memories.
These are your records.
This is your world.
Because we're a fucking... That's a replicant, which isn't gonna... They're connecting everything.
What is this?
Sweet memories from deep within.
Hidden memories that were sealed away.
Shades?
Shades. Human souls that have gone gestalt.
These shades are but data reproduced via your records. They are the true humans who stand on your journey.
You are a foreign entity in this world.
An error created by a discrepancy between memory and record.
I have not understood a single fucking thing you shitty little ass grabbers have said since we started this goddamn adventure.
Yeah, no, all of our stuff did. The menus... Actually, are the menus? No. The menus didn't, but the map did. The map is also automata-based. Because this is a hack. That's what we're doing right now. We're hacking. This is the same thing that 9S did at the end of Automata. And these are nodes. Beepy! Because she's a replicant. Replicants are androids.
God damn it. Enough with this bullshit already.
You have heard many voices.
Fear, hate, rage, suffering.
Each of them has meaning.
I gotta go slower, chat. I feel like I'm missing stuff. Gretel. So we're going over all the gestalts we killed throughout the game? Is this gonna finally explain what Weiss really is?
Stop it, stop it, stop it! I kill Shades. That's all there is to it.
No, she wouldn't have known they were gestalts, especially if her memory was, like, erased. Because the only person that had that information at the end of the game was Weiss. Like, she knew they were replicants, But I don't even think she'd heard the Gestalt word before.
This is the deepest place in your memories.
Memories you had sealed away.
And this one is your worst memory.
No, her grandma. The thing that killed her grandma, which is why it forced us to go all the way back to the area.
I'll kill you as many times as it takes. You goddamn shit fucking despicable piece of garbage!
Holy fuck, chat.
Can you defeat this nightmare?
Shut your goddamn traps for one goddamn second and let me kill it already!
Efforts are futile. It cannot be stopped.
There is no escaping this nightmare.
Someone else was there when I first fought this bastard. Fuck. Why can't I remember?
Damn it, I hate it. Chat, making us replay through it was fucking brilliant. You know, if they don't remember us, do they remember Weiss?
This is some twisted shit right here, and you're gonna pay!
Oh my god.
I won't lose to you. I think it's charging up its.
I don't have a way to attack that!
Get the fuck down here, you worthless, piss-guzzling shit rag! Okay, that hurt.
Thankfully the block made it not too bad. Chat, she's got like the same stagger animation as 2B.
Get out, half-breed.
You disgust me. You disgust us all. We don't want you. Just leave
No!
us in peace.
Enough already! Please, just shut up! Fuck. This is bad.
I can't even explain how hard this is to control. Okay, hold on. When Kaine's eyes flutter open, she sees a dozen villagers quizzically staring back. After a moment, she realizes she's collapsed on the ground, where sharp stones dig at her flesh like... Whatever, that's not important right now. She pulls herself to a knee before rising on unsteady feet and sparing a glance at her surroundings. What the fuck? She mutters. What happened? Wasn't I just fighting shades? Rods, welcome to the stream, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Her mind races as her hand gropes unconsciously for the blade that has been her constant companion for so long. Though she can't explain it, it's clear she has somehow been transported to an entirely new world. well, not entirely new. She recognizes the hawk-shaped weather vane twisting slowly in the wind above her, as well as the small, rounded homes with wisps of smoke drifting into the air. And of course, there are villagers currently staring at her with a mixture of fear and disgust. Oh yes, they are a familiar sight indeed. She is in the area. She is home. Is something the matter, girl? Kaine spins around at the voice and sees a woman ravaged by time, her narrow hips barely seeming strong enough to hold her body upright, while the shawl wrapped around her thin frame appears ready to fall apart at any time. Grandma? Is that really you? Her grandmother's eyes grow almost comically wide before blinking several times in succession. What's wrong with you, fool girl? Is your head lost in a dream? Dreams? Could this be a dream? But it feels so real. But she's dead. Grandma's dead. I've been watching that goddamn shade kill her. So this isn't a dream. How the hell is she here? Unlike those shades, unless those shades killed me too. That must be it. I'm dead. I'm dead and this is Oh, stop with that nonsense already. Kaine flinches as her grandma raises her hand in the air, expecting pain to come as a correction for her foolishness. But instead of a blow, her grandma simply places the hand upon her granddaughter's cheek. The warmth of it instantly spreads from her cheek to her face, before filling her entire body with a kind of beautiful light. What's wrong, girl? Asks her grandmother. Are you upset? Do you want to go home? Kaine feels tears coming to her eyes and struggles to hold them back. Though she still has no idea what is happening, she knows one thing for certain. This is her grandmother. Sorry, Grandma. I'm not sure where my head was there. Well, make sure you keep it attached. Her grandmother chuckles as she pulls her hand away. Maybe this is a dream. Or maybe I'm dead, I don't know. But either way, I'm not alone. As long as Grandma's with me, that's enough. Didn't I tell you to stop spacing out, girl? Her grandmother says with a cackle. Here, now hold this. She hands Kaine a large sack, filled to bursting with all manner of fruits and vegetables. Damn, Grandma, this is a lot. Well, it's important to treat yourself now and again. Besides, these villagers may hate us, but the bastards are more than willing to take our money. We'll lend support as we can, even if they have to hold their noses while we do it. Her grandmother trails off, as if trying to remember something, then slowly turns around. Well, what do you know? On the excitement, I forgot to buy my medicine. A thin smile wavers on her face for a moment before vanishing into a lifetime's worth of crevices and wrinkles, causing Kaine to take a concerned step forward. No, Grandma, that's fine. You go and rest. I'll get the medicine. Her grandma hesitates, clearly trying to weigh her own need for resting against her granddaughter's odd behavior of a moment before. Before she can start to argue, Kaine charges ahead, ignoring the small voice in her head, telling her what a bad idea all this is. Really, Grandma? It's fine. Go home. I've got this. She pulls her grandmother's ancient wallet from her fingers, an act that requires a surprising amount of strength. Besides, you know how stubborn I am. Once my mind is set, there's no changing it. I wonder where you got that from. Seeing that further argument will be useless, her grandmother slowly turns and begins the long journey home. Kaine watches the figure recede from her vision, waiting for what seems like an eternity to ensure everything is alright. Once the frail shadow finally vanishes over the horizon, she turns on a heel and makes for the apothecary. Ho there, says the elderly apothecary as Kaine enters the store. Here for Kali's medicine, are you? Well, few villagers have ever bothered to learn her grandmother's name. She and the apothecary were old friends. Perhaps that was the reason he'd always showed her kindness when so many others did not. Yeah, if it's not a bother. The shopkeeper immediately set about his work, deftly pulling bottles and herbs from the shelves and mixing them with a practiced hand. Soon a peculiar smell begins to drift through the store, one that immediately reminds Kaine of her childhood. There you are, says the apothecary as he holds out a small clothes bag. Sorry for the wait. Oh, and say, there's a fine portrait you drew of your grandmother. Looks just like her, so it does. And honestly, I've never seen Kali so over the moon about anything. She brags about it every time she stops by. You saw that? Kaine says, her eyes narrowing. Said portrait was something she'd whipped up one day after getting her hands on some crayons, and to call it rough would be an act of purest generosity. The idea her grandmother was displaying it around town made Kaine's stomach want to sink down to her feet before slinking off into a hole somewhere. You bet I saw it, the pleased apothecary says. She brought it all the way up here to show me. My, but it's been a long time since I've seen something so wonderful. Kaine's mind began to whirl. The picture was shit. She was sure it was shit. And yet, the man's reaction displayed the exact opposite emotion. Is he just being kind to me? The hypocrisy is accenting her skepticism. Doubles down. I could really tell you put your heart into it. It was simply wonderful. Thanks, offers Kaine, who just wants the entire conversation to be over. She briefly considers how she's going to make her grandmother cease her little traveling art show, but then realizes the train has likely left the station. Shaking her head to banish her increasingly shrill thoughts, she grabs the bag of medicine tightly and turns to leave, but as she reaches the door, she hears a loud thud from somewhere in the back of the shop. Kaine turns around to see the Hippocrates crouching on the floor. Hey there, you okay? When the man does not reply, Kaine moves towards him. She assumes he slipped on something, or perhaps hit his head on one of the low-hanging shelves in the crowded shop. But the moment she draws close to him, she hears him begin to scream inside her mind. My leg! My leg! My leg! My leg! Oh God, where is my leg? Panicked, Kaine looks down and discovers the man's leg is gone. Help me! He screams the voice in her head. Help me! Kaine looks in horror. The man's fingers begin to shimmer and vanish. He reaches out for her with his other hand, only to find out that it, too, is no longer there. Soon his arms go, then his legs. Then the side of his face warbles out of existence, causing a stray eyeball to roll out of its socket and onto the floor. Heal, says the voice. If it can be called that anymore, Recon. A moment later, what remains of the pitiful shopkeeper collapses into a heap of ash. Chat, Thanos snapped. Releasing a small puff into the suddenly silent air. As Kaine stumbles back in horror, she hears a cacophony of terror rising up outside. Oh my God, what's happening? My arms! Where are my arms? Why can't I see? Kaine bursts under the door to find herself in a nightmare. Homes slough off the sides of cliffs, taking out pieces of scaffolding as they fall. Screams echo out of everywhere, creating an opera fit for hell. The villagers run in mad circles before exploding into dust, their clothing drifting this way and that as it floats untethered through the air. As she stares at the scene, wide-eyed, a single thought suddenly inserts itself into the forefront of her mind. Grandma. Kaine breaks into a run, the crumbling world around her suddenly forgotten. She leaps from one piece of falling debris to the next, using them as stepping stones to cross a world that is increasingly losing cohesion. As she continues her mad dash, flecks of ash are blown into her face, her mouth, her eyes. Ash, 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 ash. Buildings and people, all reduced to so many cinders in the wind. Soon she arrives at her childhood home. It was once a place filled with precious memories, a place she regarded as an oasis in an increasingly mad world, but now it is nothing but a pile of ash. As she gapes unbelievingly at the sight, a faint sound suddenly reaches her ears. Kaine. She's alive. Grandma's alive. With a speed born out of panic, she leaps into the giant pile and begins shoving it aside. It stings her eyes and burns her lungs, but she continues on, heedless of the danger. Finally, she pulls a small, blackened form out of the darkness. Come on, Grandma, she whispers. We're getting out of here. Without waiting for a response, Kaine gathers her grandmother in her arm and breaks into a mad run, hoping to escape the chaos. But the wave of ash has become a tsunami. Before she can make it more than a few desperate steps, it reaches out with a cruel hand and overwhelms them. Kaine stumbles and falls, sending her and her grandmother tumbling into the ashes. One glance at her feet is enough to reveal the culprit. Her right leg has vanished at a point just below the knee. Oh, it'll take more than that to stop me, mutters Kaine, as she slings her grandmother over her shoulder and begins to crawl away. We're gonna make it. We're going to live. As she crawls, her grandmother seems to grow lighter, as if trying to magically reduce the weight of her own burden. And as Kaine continues to struggle, she hears a small, soft voice enter her ear. Infant Silver, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Long time to see, bud. Thank you, Kaine. Thank you. As the voice drifted away, the last pile of ash that used to be her grandmother drifts off on a soft breeze. Kaine screams an impossibly sad and lonely sound and begins trying to pull the ashes back to her. This can't be happening. It can't be happening. But the ashes are mingling with all the other detritus from the collapsed village, and soon she can no longer tell what particles belong to who.